You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
Go.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is your friend and star of the show, Jerry.
Gerald? Did you forget your name?
I'll pause for a long time for effect. Pregnated pauses. And with me is the host.
Gabby, hello. What is up?
Oh.
What up?
What is up? Bonjour.
Oh my God. Y'all can't resist talking.
Aloha. Hey, we haven't introduced you yet.
I was trying to introduce you. You just started talking.
Can we restart?
No.
This is Paige of the defunct podcast.
Sharday!
Of the defunct podcast, Disagreeable Nerd.
What up, dude?
Which I just found out is defunct. I did not know it was defunct. I haven't been listening to podcasts for several months because I've been busy moving because I'm an adult. And
adults move.
They have houses. They build houses.
Whoa,
Gabby, are you an adult?
That's the privilege that build houses.
No, it's people have hands.
Privilege. Hashtag privilege.
Oh, please.
Hashtag white privilege.
Do you not do you not know what a 2x4 is? You build your own house?
Oh, have you been out there?
I have.
Muscles glistening in the sun.
Have you had one of those hard hats on?
I don't wear hard hats.
As
I just imagine
framing
you with
your
the hard
device
hat
together.
I do own a hard hat.
Do you know how to frame?
It's gold. It's gold hat.
Your hard hat's gold.
Okay, so when I posted a question about a question to ask our show, that's a terrible way of phrasing that.
You're the host.
Sam Rouleau.
Rollo?
This is a question that we did not answer on the last episode. And this is for you, Jerry.
I'm ready.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on Andor. Hold. Hold. Now, Ben Maddox, you can tune out since you hate all things Star Wars. I think it has its moments, but the pacing is too slow, Sam says, and they could have cut a few episodes. There are too many plot lines and characters I just don't care about. Do we really need to see that security guy get scolded by his mom and he says Mon Mothma. I think he meant Mon Mothma.
Mama.
Go to so many political parties. So I leave that for you to answer him.
Okay, so number one, Sam Rouleau.
Rouleau.
Okay. The reason they have characters there that you don't care about is because they're building up to something. There's certain plot lines and things of that nature. In episode 8, is it 8 that we're on? Or yeah, I believe it's episode 8 currently.
8 or 9.
It's proven that. And that's the guy off Poldark, right? That's let me look.
By this time, 10. Yes, Cyril.
Kyle Solar.
Cyril is off of the show Poldark that I also enjoy. And he's also...
Did you mute me?
Huh?
Am I? Oh, sorry.
You're on.
Are you on?
What are you whispering? What? Say your words.
I thought I was muted.
You haven't watched Andor, so what are you talking about?
I have watched Andor.
But you're not caught up.
My internet wouldn't work. That's not my fault.
Okay.
Do you like Andor?
I do like Andor. And honestly, like, I have 2 episodes left. I think it was a little bit slow at first, but I think it kicked up a notch. But it's not my favorite Star Wars show, but I enjoyed it.
What is your favorite Star Wars show?
It's Mandalorian.
Okay, obviously. Andor is amazing.
Gina's calling me.
Because of the writing.
Don't know why.
Just ignore it. Just ignore it. You don't have to answer your phone every time. It's such
No, but they do.
Oh, my God.
Okay, it was a huge mistake getting Sharday on the show.
Why did you invite her?
I don't know.
Gina says shut up, Jerry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Andor is a wonderful series with perfect pacing. Is there action, which is the thing that everybody says, something's too slow?
Right.
No. When you're saying it's slow, what you're saying is that there's not enough action. That's different from a show being very slow. The show is not slow because there's always character development. The narrative is always moving forward. There's always something else taking place that is furthering what's going on. That's why it's not slow. Is there a lot of action? Of course not. No. They're telling a particular narrative. Does every movie have to be explosions? Does everything have to be Fast and the Furious?
That's what modern movies have created. I like my explosions. Don't get me wrong.
I don't.
I'm a fat. Yes, you do.
I don't.
You do like explosions.
I don't. No. I don't like shows that's all that there is.
Well,
I don't like that.
People confuse action with interesting.
Correct.
Just because there's a lot of explosions doesn't make it interesting. I love both sides of this Star Wars universe now. I love the Mandalorian. Little Grogu, adorable. I love the action. But this show is a whole different ball game. It is about building up those characters, about building up the suspense. This episode where they're in the prison, Andor's in the prison, they're so tension-filled, and it's like watching a World War II movie with someone in a Nazi concentration camp. That's what this show is like, and they're clearly making these parallels for a reason. I was on Twitter, and somebody's like, oh, these last few episodes have been so boring and slow. I'm like, are you watching the same show? Like this, I've been so tense and scared and worried about everything that's going on. Like these have been the best episodes to me so far.
Yes. Very
yeah,
good.
I mean, sure. Episode number 3, when they finally had an explosion and they escaped, Andor and what's the guy's name?
You have to say spoilers alert. I don't know why you do this. Why you spoil the whole
By the time this comes out, whatever.
Spoiling everything.
Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, there's explosions in 3. There's explosions in like episode 6. They're doing it like in 3-episode arcs almost. It's like the first 3 episodes is the beginning. Then the next 3 was like this heist. Then the next 3 or 4, however long, has been him in prison. And how is he going to get out? It's utterly fantastic.
Oh, yes.
The slow moments that everyone keeps talking about are moments where they're building these characters. Watching this, spoiler alert for Andor. Just if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. And tune out now. All right. So when he's in that prison and that old man is getting sicker and sicker in this last, I think it's episode 9. Maybe it's 8. But he's just getting sicker and sicker. And it's like, that the Empire doesn't care about them. They're going to kill them if they don't produce. It's just, the tension is there. It's absolutely fantastic.
I literally just realized I had no idea what you're talking about, and that's because I haven't watched the last 2 episodes. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? It's because I just fixed my internet yesterday, and it wasn't my internet, it was my Apple. So now I got to watch it on Roku.
And seeing that lady, the Dedra, seeing her go from like bad to worse, like being like just a complete, they're fascists, they're Nazis. I mean, it's incredible to me.
So
I must watch it now.
Andor is broken up into 4 narrative arcs this season.
Okay.
So you've got the first 3 episodes, then you got the next 3 episodes. You're obviously going to have these next 3 episodes, 7, 8, which you've just watched, and then 9.
Okay.
So there are 4 particular arcs that they do, which is why this show seems very slow, because you have the first episode, build up. Second episode, it's kind of peaking, everything's set up. Third episode, resolve. Rinse, dry, repeat. It's a nice formula because you have each episode something happening, something moving the narrative along. The reason why people think that it's particularly slow, again, is because there isn't the intense action of there being an episode arc within 1 hour of an episode. It's multiple episodes. And the reason why that is because they have multiple different angles going on. Not only do you have Andor, and then you've got Lutheran, the guy that's the Skarsgård guy, and
Luthen,
Mon Mothma.
Vale.
And then you've got the security guy who I absolutely adore that character. It's going to be a very interesting character. And then
Don't say you adore.
I do.
He seems to be a psychotic character.
What makes him psychotic?
He's good.
He's good.
He's a good actor.
And then you've, of course, got the ISB and that actress there who's doing a fantastic
Dedra.
job. So she's the voice of Yennefer.
The ISB scenes alone, where they're just in that conference room, I would watch a show on that. It's incredible to me. This the storylines and the acting and everything about it. I like it a lot.
Right. It's very good. It's well acted. And it's not so watered down as many of the other, the Star Wars movies, the past 3 of them have been just that. I mean, they just didn't give them anything to work with. It's all been lens flares and
it's a whole different genre.
Right.
Like this is, and that's what people are complaining about. But I think it's also an asset to the Star Wars universe. This show has done more universe building for Star Wars than I've seen ever. I have not watched the Clone Wars or Rebels. Those may do more as well. But like just the fact that there's like apartment buildings where Cyril's mom lives, nobody's ever like it's building this world into a realistic looking world as far as Star Wars is concerned. Now, if you're going to go for space wizards and magic and lightsabers, that's the other side of Star Wars. I like that Star Wars too. Obviously, I love it. That's the original trilogy. This is not that. This is like a nitty gritty. This is like if Star Wars was real. This is what this is. I mean, as stupid as that sounds, it's like if Star Wars was real and they're dealing with fascism, that's the Empire. That's this show. And it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great show. And I think that's why people are kind of off-put by its tone. It's not the same tone as you would with Boba Fett or with The Mandalorian or even the movies. So this is a much more myopic view of it in terms of the actual universe itself. And that's why I think it's going very well.
It's basically the Hunger Games, if you think about it.
It's a very dystopian.
Kind of like, future worlds.
The Hunger Games.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Hunger Games for some reason. I recently
I got you.
rewatched
Like
it
I said,
also.
dystopian. It's a dystopian world with
And
this
it's like you said,
one
the word,
government just oppressing
what's that
you.
word you said?
Fascism.
Fascism. Kind of like Hunger Games.
That's a trigger word these days. Trigger people. Did you know
Weird.
you're
He's
actually
just saying stuff.
I was like, I don't know.
you're
like,
actually
I've never
a
heard
tiny bit taller when you wake up in the morning than when you want to go to sleep?
That's 'cause your
Fast.
spine,
That's false.
your spine
Wait, say that again?
compresses.
Well, she said false.
Okay.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No,
She's an
wait.
ignorant millennial.
Listen, I'm
didn't
not.
even-
I'm. You know, I'm actually. You're a millennial.
No, I'm not.
You're a millennial.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Anyone born 97 and up is Gen Z.
That's not what
Anyone-
we're talking about right now.
you
Sorry,
Gen Z?
he got me off. I'm a millennial and Gen Z. I'm split in the half.
So why did you disagree with the fact that I just said?
I actually just wanted to disagree for no reason at all.
That's very-
what did you
that's
actually
very
say?
millennial.
What did you just say? Actually,
Okay, I'm
See, she didn't
regretting
even
having you
listen.
on here.
Then why do we have her?
Like I just said something and
That's
you're like,
so-
oh,
well,
no.
you said something when you wake up in the morning.
I
and you're
said you're
less,
actually a tiny bit taller when you wake up in the morning than when you go to sleep at night.
I'm glad you're here.
Is it because you're stretched out? I don't understand that statement. That doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. 'Cause
You
your
say
spine
it makes
compress-
sense.
Your spine compresses throughout the day.
So interesting. I'll have to do my research.
Oh, please.
Throughout the day, you put pressure on your joints, causing the cartilage in your spine to compress.
So I'm actually 5'5".
As you walk, run, bike, and just live during the day, gravity slowly begins to push everything down, causing the cartilage in your spine to squeeze together.
Why'd you say
As
it
you
like that?
lay your head down to sleep at the end of the day, the pressure on your spinal discs eases, letting you return to your full height in the morning.
This is interesting.
It was interesting, and that's from ranker.com.
Oh, thanks, Ranker.
You got any other
Rank-
more
that's one of mine.
interesting? You got any
You
more?
printed that off.
Ranker, well,
Gabby.
sometimes I like to get...
You got any more or less interesting facts?
Oh, I wanted to say congrats to Luke Holt. Luke Holt or Luke Holt?
Luke Holt.
One of our dear listeners, active on our Facebook group, just got engaged.
Congratulations.
Remember that?
Yes, I
And
saw
he
that.
engaged her. He engaged her with a game of Just One. And he signed the little things that you sign on Just One, by like when you read the card, then you had to write down the clue. He did, will you marry me? Very clever, I thought. Very
Do you
clever.
wish you would have did yours differently when you proposed?
No, I did old school, bruh. I got on my,
Why don't you tell us what you did? Go.
I got down on bended knee as my wife was in a swing. We went to a public state park. She got in a swing and she started swinging. Just a swing, and she would not stop swinging. I was like, Gina, let me ask you a question. But she kept swinging ferociously. I'm like, why are you so involved in swinging right now? Stop. But she kept. I was like, no, babe, I want to ask you a question.
She wanted to play.
She did not understand
It's a playground.
the question I was fixing to ask her. I'm fixing to ask you a life-altering question. Please stop swinging back and forth in this child swing.
So can you give like the actual like deets? Like, did you have to scream and she finally stopped?
We got a huge fight. As I commanded her to stop swinging.
I just imagine this, like her just going like back and forth.
Yeah, she was quite happy in the moment. But I was like, babe, no, seriously, babe, I want to ask you a question, babe. Oh, it was kind of awkward. She made it very awkward just swinging.
That sounds like Gina, actually.
Oblivious. She can
Oblivious.
She can kind of be oblivious to what's going on. She doesn't pick up on like the nervousness that I was giving her at the time, and my body language was
the intense sweating.
Butt sweating. The intense butt sweating.
So I was like, okay. So then I stopped her, and then I got down on bended knee, as one should.
Did she cry?
No.
I don't know why people cry. It's weird.
She just went back to swinging.
She went back to swinging. She's like, all right, cool.
Puts a ring on and starts.
Put a ring on it. I put a ring on it, and then there we go. And
So-
25 years later, here I am.
Yeah, Luke Holt sent us like an email last year, and I went to type out a bunch of stuff, and then you deleted. I saved it in draft, and you deleted it and never got to send it.
But you didn't. Did I delete it?
Yes, you deleted it, and you told me you deleted it by accident, and I had to go back in there.
Oh, my bad.
I'll find it.
Okay.
He sent like a question like last year about, hey, I'm dating this girl or something like that. And I was
apparently he didn't need your advice.
Well, I was sending him an email. I'll read it now. Dear Luke, don't do it. No, you delete. Yeah, he was at, yeah, there you go. I can't believe it's not in drafts.
Jerry,
delete my stuff.
How did you propose to your
Me, classy.
wife?
Because I'm classy.
Okay,
I'm classy.
go.
Just did it a classy way.
And how did you do it?
I took her out. We went out to a picnic by a river in the woods because that's
creepy.
That's creepy. Very Jeffrey Dahmer. Like,
Harry, don't ever say his name. Oh my god.
like either you're gonna marry me or I'm gonna bury you. So I go,
Marry or
I feel
bury?
like Jerry would be that.
and then I was like, hey, I said like, hey,
Hey, all
got
right.
that, you gonna marry me?
Oh my god, you're
Be really
so
cool
stupid.
if you did.
Be a whole lot cooler if you did.
Yeah, cooler. You'd be a lot less single if you did. There you go.
I have a 401k.
Oh, that's good.
There you go.
A picnic by the river.
You can go buy it.
The way I imagine being proposed, well, for one, like let's normalize like a woman proposing. Like, that'd be cool.
Really?
Because I'm closed-minded. I say ugh.
Why are you closed-minded?
Because that's weird. No man.
Why
wants
is
to be
it? Why is
proposed
it?
to. No man wants to be proposed to.
Why is that?
That's pressure.
It's
Like when I see a guy get refused, like when he asks, like they have those things where they're like at a game, and the guy goes like, "Oh, marry me," and then she's like shakes her head no and
like
leaves.
super awkward.
First off, that's dumb to do.
I would
Because you're putting somebody on the spot. That needs to be private so you can get rejected in private. Maybe, sort of, or somewhere where it's people like it's comfortable. It's like, yeah, of course.
Or even if they might accept it in public view, and then later on they're like, no, I just did that because it was
like not to humiliate that person.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd say yes, and then later be like, look,
No.
you're going to propose to me at a Rangers game? The Rangers?
I like the old school way because like nowadays people like have actual photographers plan.
Oh, no.
Well, you gotta
like,
put-
I've
you gotta
seen
put it
it.
on
I've
TikTok.
seen it. You got to put it everywhere and like showing like them going with their mouth.
Oh my god!
Like, you know,
oh, I'm so
I don't like the
shocked.
photography thing.
I saw.
You should be able to enjoy the moment.
I honestly agree with that actually because it's kind of weird.
Hey! That's how Luke Holt. He had the camera on the whole time. So
But he had
I'm not.
pictures.
No.
It's in private.
His wasn't like a professional photographer.
no, it was just like he just set up his phone.
But you think the woman could
Well, I
propose.
mean, it's possible. I mean, I feel
I
like
don't want to be turned down proposals.
I feel like I can make an amazing proposal.
What would
Oh.
you do?
I haven't thought that far. I mean, I don't know. I feel like lights would be included. Like
Lights?
twinkly lights.
What do you think?
Lights?
Like track lighting?
No, like some kind of
I got
lights you can put on a
I got
tree.
lights, RGB. What you got going on?
I mean, like maybe like somebody's who lives in the country or something.
Just
and,
have
like,
lights.
somehow.
So
like,
someone
they
who lives in the
walking,
country.
Some kind of they're like walking and then like I don't know.
So you're marrying a country person,
No, I'm
a
saying.
Sasquatch.
Here's what she'll do. Here's what she's gonna do.
He's gonna find
She's
the way
gonna
to
get-
You know what?
there.
Forget that.
No. She's gonna get like 5 gallons worth of diesel and pour it out on the ground and like spell "marry me," and then when they're walking in the woods, be like, only you can prevent forest fires. So she'll light a match and throw it, and it just burns "Marry Me" into the ground. And then there's
But then they'd have to like take an aerial view to see it.
But you just would assume.
No. From their point of view, you just decided to commit arson.
Okay, well, that's a very dramatic. I think, people like to...
She's like, hey,
people get
climb
killed.
that tree for me real quick.
Get in that tree stand, Daryl.
No.
I bought you a tree stand. Get up there.
Now give me your match.
Yeah.
I just imagine trees and
great
lights.
idea. Here it is. $1 billion idea for your country husband.
Well, I didn't say country husband.
Because
I
you
said
said-
country.
It's clearly a country.
No,
He's
country.
clearly-
In fact, I think it's a Sasquatch.
Can I please rephrase that?
He's
when I
clearly
said
a country bumpkin.
I meant like be in the country, not
All
like
right.
a country.
So here's what you're going to say.
Okay,
Said Daryl.
whatever.
Daryl.
Why is
stop.
Daryl?
Listen. Shh. Calm down. You're upsetting Daryl. Daryl. This is you. Daryl's dare season. Go get your bow, your Matthews. Go get your favorite stand. I'll make you dinner when you get home. But while he's in his deer stand, you hire somebody to capture and tame a buck. And then you spray paint "Marry Me" on said buck. And you release it. And it goes through the woods.
Jerry,
and just when he's pulling back his bow about Daryl, he's about to bring this buck home.
No.
Big 8 point. He looks out and says, "Marry me." And he sings, "Why is this buck won't we marry her?" He shoots the buck.
And he says yes, and he marries a deer.
And when he pulls back the bow, he's got yes written on the arrow.
Daryl and Buck.
You know what? I totally rephrase it. I'm going to rephrase this.
Daryl
I want to
and Buck.
come through with some roller skates and like a jumpsuit.
Roller skates is a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Just the 70s.
Yeah. I'm just going to roll in.
Where?
And do what?
Well,
Finger guns.
do some roll in. I haven't really thought that far out. So
This is not this is okay. I like how you just declared you think you could do it well, and then you had no idea.
You know what? Honestly, I didn't say I could do it well.
And then my ideas were
I never claimed
objectively
Jerry,
better.
I never claimed I could do it well. I just thought what if a woman did it? I never said I could do it right.
That would freak me out.
But I mean,
Nobody, because here's the thing. No man ever asks another man, "How did she ask you?" But women ask that question all the time. It's assumed. How embarrassing would it be if
Presumed, really.
all your how did he ask? You're like, well, he didn't. I asked him.
well, I guess that would be embarrassing for you.
Very embarrassing.
But why is that embarrassing?
It just is. I don't know why. It is what it is.
Why?
Because I'm closed-minded. It's just the way it is.
Great Western Trail.
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 I don't like Great Western Trail. The mediocre Western Trail.
So
I don't
a
like it.
Listener sent us Great Western Trail. Said they have purchased the second edition, which I don't know what that does.
The Greater Western Trail.
Perhaps.
I don't like this game. There's no need to be meta and tell them every little detail about how you got it in the mail and everything.
We played Great Western Trail.
It's not any good.
First edition.
It's implied. Why are you doing this to me?
We set it up.
Why are you doing this to me? You do this every time. You say, "I'm not going to be meta." And then you're like, "I got this in the mail. It was in a brown envelope. And it came from Wisconsin."
I'm just talking.
I know you're
details.
just talking. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This game is not any
good.
good.
We appreciate you sending us this game.
It's not any good. I don't like
Eggert
it.
Spiel.
I don't like it. Nobody cares. Here's the thing.
You take your cowboy and you go to all these little buildings and try to sell your cows at the end of your little trail, and then you restart.
Why are you doing that?
And then you go in a rondel. You just go in a circle. You just go in circles in this game.
This is awful.
You visit buildings to get money
You're
to purchase
putting me
things.
to sleep, and I'm here with
And
you.
then as you go to those buildings
Why are you
to
want to do
purchase
this?
things, you either purchase a building or you purchase a cow or you purchase a cowboy or
My
some other
mind's
person.
wandering now.
and then
I am wandering.
And then in the game, you count up your victory points, and that's the game. This is one of the most irritating games.
I'm thinking about other things.
We'd rather play Kalis, which is the same thing where you wind up the trail and you go to buildings and you purchase buildings and you play those buildings for points. This game does that. But
Andor is the brother of Holdor. And Holdor is like, "Hold the door." And Andor's like, "And the door."
How do you and the door?
I don't know. And the door. Maybe he's like, "Close the window." And the door.
But the guy's name was not Close the Window.
But
his name was
that's
Holdor.
their cousin. There's Holdor, Andor, and Windor.
How do you put all those together?
I'm just saying. I'm meta. I'm cross-referencing various platforms.
Okay, so no, we're going to go into detail on Great Western Trail.
I'll go into detail, but
Okay, well, go.
Well, why are you sitting here rambling?
But everyone, this game is it's a rondelle. It's
That's not a rondelle.
Set collection.
It's not a rondelle.
It is a rondelle.
Not
you
a
fool.
rondelle.
You go in a
It
circle.
is not a
It is a rondelle. It's one
It
giant.
is not a
It is literally a rondelle, just like Maracaibo's a giant rondelle.
No.
You can't go backwards. You can only go forward up to so many steps. It's a rondelle. It's literally a rondelle. The whole map is a rondelle. You made me raise my voice, and I was speaking so calmly previously.
It's not a rondelle.
It is a rondelle.
It's not a rondelle.
What define a rondelle?
I am right now.
Okay.
I'm looking up a rondelle.
If you look up Great Western Trail in Board Game Geek, it will literally say rondelle.
So is that what you know? You know that for a fact. A rondelle, rondoa, especially one of the 13, 14 lines, that's not right. A circular object or shape.
Okay, so you literally go in a circle. You go from the beginning to the end and back again. That's this game. You're going through all these buildings and then you circle back. And you can go up to so many spaces and you can choose which space you want to stop at. That's a rondelle in every game we ever play.
It's not a rondelle.
It's a rondelle. Oh my God! You know what?
It's not a rondelle. I'm looking
I
it up.
I thought you knew better.
I'm looking
than
it
this.
up. I'm looking it up. You're saying rondelle. I know you keep saying the word like you know what it means, but I don't think it's a rondelle.
I don't know. You can think.
The mechanisms are the following: deck building, bag building, or pool building, hand management, ownership, set collection, track, variable setup. It's track movement. There is no rondelle mentioned.
What is a rondelle?
It's a circular thing. This is not circular.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
But not circular.
No,
okay, so
it's not circular.
So you're telling me just because it's not in a circle, it's not a rondelle.
Is a line of circle?
The mechanism is the exact same.
It
is.
It's not.
It is a rondelle.
By definition and by its own way.
No, it is a rondelle.
No, it's not a rondelle.
You're making yourself out to be a fool right now.
You're the fool. It's not
You're the fool.
Where's the circle at?
It doesn't have to be. The circle is the map.
By definition, a rondelle is a circle. By definition. You cannot argue that. It is here definition. A circular
love
object.
your definitions.
Yes, I like things that are correct. That are agreed upon.
You called Maracaibo a rondelle.
Let me see.
And it was not a rondelle according to you. You go in a circle, choosing your spot to land, move up to this many spaces.
What do you mean Maracaibo wasn't a rondelle?
It's the exact same thing as this.
No, it's not the exact same thing. There is no circle here.
Oh my God.
There's no circle. It's not a circle. It is not a circle.
It's a rondelle.
No, it's not.
Without the circle.
You have to have a circle for it to be a rondelle. That's what I'm saying.
You're one of these people. You're the letter of the law type person.
No,
it's the exact same mechanism as a rondelle. Oh, it's not in a circle. It's not a rondelle. Okay, what would you call it? I don't know.
I know what it is. It's a track movement. It's not
track movement.
That's what it says. Track movement.
But you're choosing spaces along this path that is a rondelle, and you can choose up to 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, depending on what you do. And you can stop along the way, but you can't go backwards.
I'm just telling you what the designer says.
That's the exact same mechanism.
Telling you what the designer says.
That's the exact same mechanism as a rondelle.
I'm just telling you what the designer says. He didn't say it was a rondelle.
Oh my God.
That's just what he says. I don't know. It's not a rondelle. I wouldn't call this game a rondelle because there's no circle. And by definition, a rondelle is a circular object. So, that's just how it goes. It has to be a rondelle. It has to be a circular object. A small, round, or disc-based shaped bead or necklace could be a rondelle.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So,
you talk about the game that you played.
But I'm just saying, it's not circular, is it?
Talk about the game that you played.
But it's not circular, right? It's not a rondelle. You can look it up all you want. It doesn't say rondelle. This game is not any good anyways because it's basically a reskin. I don't say it's not any good. It's a decent game. It's just Kalis and these other games that do the go forward and build something and use said building thing. The set collection in it I don't particularly like. The rule book to me was very awful. This is the first edition. The second edition may have cleaned this up. I still think that Alexander Pfister made 2 great games. They are the following. Hong Kong Blackout, which is my personal favorite, and I think it is his best game. followed by Mombasa, which is also another awesome game. To me, the games that everybody talks about, like Maracaibo, which nobody's talking about anymore because it wasn't that great. Great Western Trail, which is the big one that everyone seems to really highly regard, which is just getting a second edition. I do not understand why people like it. I don't know. But I do know that Hong Kong Blackout is the game if you want any type of card management. Rondel, because there's an actual circular rondel in Hong Kong Blackout. Or a nice track / kind of resource heavy management game, much heavier, Mombasa. That's my thoughts on it. I still don't like Great Western Trail. I am very glad we gave it another thought.
What this game lacks that we discussed is player interaction. Kalis, you can move that. I forget that horse's name. It's got a specific name.
It's a horse with no name.
And you can move that and you can screw your opponents with it. Like if you can move it past their building and then they can't use that building. This game needs something like that. I feel like he was wanting to create that with the TPs, but I don't know.
TPs.
For the TPs.
Oh, yeah.
But like there need to be something where like, oh, you could screw over your opponent by setting this, because you're cattlemen driving up this trail. Are you telling me they didn't face some adversity? Some people that robbed and stole from them? You don't experience that in this game.
Bandits.
We played that. We played it 2-player. I don't know if in 4-player it plays differently. I'm
think
sure
it would scale differently.
But like we had zero interaction between the two of us. We didn't get in each other's way. I had to pay Jerry a few dollars a couple times, and that may be the biggest thing that changes from 2 to 4.
But not a rondel. Even though I understand what you're saying. Now you think because you go back, you start at the beginning after you get to the end, that you think that's a rondel. That's not a rondel.
It's the exact same movements.
That's not a rondel, though.
I hate you. You know what? I hate you.
It's just not.
Hey, be gone for 3 more weeks.
It's just not a rondel by definition.
Be gone.
You're just confused. And I know that you're confused because you're rusty. You haven't given a lot of thought. And you say words sometimes without thinking. And you buy into them. And you think, this is a rondel.
It is the exact same as a rondel, except it's not in a circle.
Which is by definition a rondel. Right? It is. I don't have to. I'm just saying. It says rondel.
That's going to do it for this show.
It's a circular thing. I don't know why that you're so wrong and you won't admit it. I don't need you to admit it. I just want you to stop embarrassing yourself.
That's going to do it for this show.
Don't embarrass yourself.
I'm Gabby.
I don't need an apology.
That's Jerry.
I'm humble enough.
Bye-bye.
I don't need one. You can get one, but I don't need it. I reversed it. I'm sorry. You're correct.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.